Oi boys, welcome to another video on the channel. Today I will be dropping two vids today. Actually, we will be previewing the preliminary later today, but for now we have got some international rugby league topics to talk about. First of all, the biggest of the week, or the biggest story of the tournament so far: Joseph Suaalii has pledged to represent Samoa at this year's Rugby League World Cup. Massive news, and honestly, off top, I'm surprised. To turn down the green and gold and a pretty hefty bag says a lot about where the young guy's head's at. Honestly, I respect it. I did catch Paul Kent having a bit of a whinge, you know, doing what he does best, playing devil's advocate. It's a little awkward. I do find his take on New South Wales players playing for tier 2 nations like Tonga and Samoa, as he says. To be clear, it's Samoa. There is an A in there. Anyway, they do make fair points. I've always seen Origin as future Kangaroos players, but the landscape's changed. Now, do I think these Polynesian boys that play for Queensland and New South Wales, do I think they should be allowed to play, you know, for another nation? My stance on this is, if they're allowed to, which they are, why not? It's not like they're breaking the rules, you know? I just hate how they always come after these poly boys, particularly the New South Welshmen. It's off-putting, and this is coming from a Queensland supporter, so people, please relax your sacks. Australia has the deepest pool of talent to choose from. The situation's a don't hate the player, hate the game type beat. Honestly, I'm not that surprised that this is what they went with when Suaalii's decision was made public. It's divisive and it's low-key race baity. Crazy how uptight people are getting over these players wanting to represent their heritage for a Rugby League World Cup, a tournament that gets played once every 4 years. Imagine kicking up this much of a stink over a handful of players essentially taking pay cuts, basically playing for free. Couldn't be me. That whole stance reeks of bitterness. As for the "you can't have your cake and eat it too" argument, does that actually apply to something that isn't against the rules? But yeah, props to Joey Suaalii. I can't wait to see him rip in for Toa Samoa. I'm really keen to see how he goes playing in his preferred position against these tier 1 powerhouses, Australia, New Zealand and England. And it's not just Suaalii, the tier 2 teams in general. They'll definitely give the international game a little bit of a shake up, which is something International Rugby League desperately needs. To be honest, if they truly wanted to expand the game internationally, they'd look into the European markets or other places where rugby union has a strong presence. But that's a topic for another video. The other bit of news regarding the Rugby League World Cup and the Australian Kangaroos, another one of the league's stars has pulled out, and that is Brisbane Bronco Payne Haas. Now, as a Broncos supporter myself, by the way, I'm stoked. I can't lie. The man's been battling all season, playing injured, and it was quite evident in the last few rounds of the regular season. So he's pretty much done there for the rest of the year. He'll be recovering. He joins the list of, I think Kalen Ponga too withdrew, or did he throw his name in the hats? I know Tommy Turbo put his hand up, which is insane. I'd be cringing if I'm a Manly supporter. And I believe Josh Schuster, not a star yet, but he would have been a massive in for Samoa had he chose to play. And that about wraps up this little odd takes video. We do have a couple of gameplay videos coming up. I want to do the PNG Kumals versus the Prime Minister's 13, or whatever that side's called. Should be an interesting challenge. But for now, boys, if you enjoyed that and would like to see more rugby league related content or more content in general, be sure to vanish that like button and sub to the channel if you're new. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Hey, pass the smoky 2 ways. Hey, day smoking since the school days. After school detention got us two-faced. We ain't learning shit but how to skip out in a new